Hi, this is Ben Solman from the Office of Financial Aid. I am here today to talk to you about information you're receiving for your new student registration from the Financial Aid Office, the Business Office, and the Registrar's Office. First, from the Registrar's Office, information about FERPA and directory versus non-directory information. FERPA is the Family Educational Rights Privacy Act. It is sort of like the college version of FERPA. Basically, students are going to be adults or are adults, and they are the only ones who have the right to their information. We have the right to share that information if the student grants us that right to share the information. There's information about it on the registration and reference guide on page 51. There's a FERPA form that students can fill out to give other people the right to contact the university and for us to be able to talk to them. Always a good idea for students to have a parent listed on there. There's also a directory information sheet to fill out on page 75. Directory information is the basic kind of information. Students' name, major, whether they're full-time or part-time, the kind of thing that it's not going to be considered harmful if it is disclosed for other people. We don't sell information, but in case people ask for the information or if it's going to be in any kind of basic list or something like that. Students will be included in that unless they specifically say they do not want to be included. Non-directory information, though, is more private information. Things like your grades, things like test scores and things like that. We do not share any of that information without written permission from the student, aka a FERPA form. From the Office of Financial Aid, we are going to go over some types of financial aid, some other resources and special circumstances. I do want to apologize if this is an aid award from last year, the 2019-20 school year, but everyone should have received something like this when you received your registration packet. It should be listing you as either full-time or part-time, and pretty much everyone should be full-time, listing you as being on campus, off campus, or with parent, and then listing fall, spring, and then a total for aid amounts. Each aid award amount is listed on a separate line, or each aid item listed on a separate line. The things above the dotted line are the free things. Those are the things you want, and those are the things that we automatically accept for you. Things below the dotted line are things that you'd have to borrow. These are the loans. Above the dotted line, grants and scholarships. Those are great. Get as much of those as you can. Below the dotted line, loans, they're okay. It's just not as good as the top part. Remember, with the loans, you do need to log on to your My Financial Aid account in order to accept those. We give you an approximate bill here as well. That is including your tuition, fees, room and board. It's not the exact room and board that you're going to be living in necessarily. We kind of do an average for that. And then we subtract that out to figure out an approximate bill on what you'd be owing. Remember, that approximate bill that you'd be owing is your gap cost, your out-of-pocket cost. Now, there's a few different ways that you could be paying for that, though. There are payment plans available, which we'll talk about in a minute. You could do a loan, either a private alternative loan or a Parent Plus loan. You could be getting scholarships through outside organizations. Keep looking for scholarships through outside organizations. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and it's a great way to be able to know what's out there. Also, campus employment is available. Every student is eligible to work on campus. Students who work on campus between 10 and 15 hours a week tend to do a little better in school. Just a reminder, though, that students are paid in a paycheck for the time that they work. We do not deduct their pay from what they owe for the semester. Parents have the option to take out a Parent Plus loan. Plus loan stands for Parent Loan for Undergraduate students. It is a little bit of a higher interest rate at 7% or a little above 7%. The parents do have 10 years to repay this. Remember to apply for the entire year at once, and it is a pretty quick process. They'll let you know about approval or denial within a few minutes. Also, if parents are denied the Parent Plus loan, the student can receive an additional $4,000 in unsubsidized direct loan as compensation. If there are special circumstances that we should know about, these would be situations not covered by the FAFSA. Keep us in the loop. These could be medical expenses that you paid out of pocket that are greater than 11% of your parents' adjusted gross income. This could be if your income is different than it was in 2018 that was listed on the FAFSA. Could be less in 2019, or could be looking like it's going to be less in 2020. If there's a change in marital status, or parents, if you're paying private grade school or high school tuition expenses, let us know about that. Keep us in the loop in financial aid. Give us a call, 920-923-7614, or email us at finaid@marianuniversity.edu. Also, there's the long link, and I'm sorry it's such a long link, for My Financial Aid. You can also get to that through my Marian account after you sign in and hover over financial aid. This might be a good place to pause it though if you want to write those numbers down. Office of Business and Finance, we're going to talk a little bit about billing process, payment process, and then a student financial agreement that you'll need to fill out. Sample billing statement, these will come out in either the end of June or the beginning of July. And it will say a previous balance on there if you paid any deposits. Now, this particular student in this example is paid $1,500 more than they needed to. We'd love to have you pay that much extra. Most people don't, though. But they had a credit coming to them. Now, most people are going to have a $210 credit. That would be your deposits that you paid. All the charges will be listed, any kind of fees, tuition. If there is housing or meal plan, anything like that will be listed there. Any kind of payments that you've already set up with a payment plan that have come through will be listed there. Any kind of loans or scholarships will be listed there as well. And in this case, the student has a $980 balance that's due, but they have a credit that's anticipated because they've already signed up for a payment plan. We are anticipating that aid to come in, or that money to come in, so their payment due is zero. You could be in this situation if you have anticipated aid listed there. Most of the aid at that point, when you get the billing statement, will not have credited. It will be listed as anticipated. So keep on the lookout for that. Making a payment, you can make a payment either online by mailing it in, or we can take credit card information over the phone, although we prefer you do that online. Easy to make online payments. Just make sure to log on to mymarianuniversity.edu. In the lower left corner, there is an option for SaberNet. Students, you can sign into SaberNet then. Click on Finances, click on Balance, and then you can click here to make payments. It's very easy to find and simple to do. Just keep in mind, we do keep a small processing fee if you are paying by credit or debit card, just to cover the processing fee with that. If you did want to set up a payment plan, you can make a monthly payment plan through a company called Nelnet. You should be receiving something in the mail or email from Nelnet. Nelnet is our third-party payment plan processors. That's a fun thing to say. And there's basically a per semester fee to sign up for a payment plan through Nelnet, but you can make monthly payments through that. The fee is pretty reasonable, and it's really simple to do. They're a really nice company to work with. A couple of helpful hints. Keep in mind that keep the business office in the loop if you're going to be having any problems with making any payments. If you're going to mail a payment in or drop it off, make sure to have the student's ID number written on that. Students do have access to their accounts through Nelnet and through SaberNet. We definitely recommend to do that. But remember that students are the only ones that have access to that. Parents, you do not have access to that because your student is an adult and we have to treat them that way. Financial holds will also be placed on any balances of over $500. So make sure you do have at least a payment plan in place in order to be getting that number down. A couple questions about business office and FERPA. Keep in mind that we can't do anything from the business office's vantage point. We can't speak to people directly unless there is a FERPA release signed. Once school starts, the student is considered an adult, and we can only work with the student or only give information specifically to the student when someone calls in, unless there's a FERPA signed. Students do have a financial responsibility agreement that they do need to complete. Basically, it's explaining that they are responsible to pay their tuition, to pay off their balance, that everything is owed. That is going to be on page 55 of the registration and reference guide. It is in effect for their entire career here at Marian. There are 3 pages there. Sign one of them, send it in to us, and make sure you tear out all 3 pages. There's 1 copy of those 3 pages then to save for your records in the book. Thank you for your time. If you do have any questions, feel free to contact the Office of Registrar, Office of Financial Aid, Office of Business and Finance, or as always, before you start here or anytime, feel free to contact the admission office. If you have any questions, please let us know. Thank you and have a great day.